First of all, very good morning to everyone on this webinar today, and very pleased to be here, standing along with fellow hoteliers. And it's very good for you to have invited an aviation specialist talking about what's happening on the airline industry to share with you guys now. And I'm very thankful to Ram. It was very insightful comments on how the retailing space is changing, how we are evolving, what are the new digital trends. And that sets the scene right enough to talk about what's happening in the airline world. Now, all these digital trends that are happening, people like Airbnb, Netflix, what they're doing is that they're really changing the customer's expectations with the user experience that they provide end to end, with the personalization that they offer. This is really what is trickling down to everyone. So when a traveler is out there to buy travel, they are expecting the same amount of experience as to call when they are booking travel. And this is what we are seeing in the airline industry as well, because we don't work in isolation and we have a similar set of trends as well. What this digital revolution has done is that it has changed travelers' perception. And what the travelers are wanting today is that they want to compare offers. They want to see what all offers are there across board. And they want to make that choice that best suits them. And another point is that they just don't want the booking experience to be right, but they want the experience to be right across their journey, right from when they're shopping, the inspiration search, shopping for the booking, and then what even happens till the services are rendered. So the end-to-end journey is very much required. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, which are the providers in our case, or in my world, it is the airlines. What they really want is they want to control the offer. For very long, they thought that their offers were not really controlled by them, but by intermediaries. What they really want is to control their offer. And the reason behind is that they really want to achieve the same level of personalization that these other retailers in the digital world are doing. And they want to reach to the customers and serve them in the channel that they prefer. Now, giving rise to these points, this is how NDC was born, and this is what I will be talking about to you today. So in simple terms, NDC is new distribution capability for the people who are unversed with that. And what is it? It's a new XML standard that's created by the Association of Airlines that was done in 2012. It has gone through a lot of maturity stages. And this is now when the airlines are moving from proof of concept to something which is more industrialized. Now, what is NDC bringing on the table? What was not there? Because if you might challenge me saying XML is nothing new, it has been there in the hotels and other industries for far too long. But what fundamentally changes is the concept in which it is sold. It changes from a PNR and a ticket number, which you all relate to, which you see in your itineraries, to changing to something offer and order. And the end game is reaching an objective to be something called one order, which would replace a ticket to have a one single point of reference, just like what is in the retailing world, where you have a shopping cart with one order reference, and then you might have different sub-elements to it. So this is what would be in the airline world changing. Now, I'll just put up a graphical representation for people to understand a bit more closely on what is changing. So the earlier airline distribution model was based on a push mechanism in which all the inventory availability and everything, rates, fares were given to the GDSs. We created the offer to give to the traveler. Now, what is changing in the NDC world is the basic philosophy, which is changing from a push mechanism to a pull mechanism, in which the same traveler or the same travel agency or whatever the endpoint may be is requesting for a travel offer. The travel offer and actually the offer is being created on the airline side instead of being created by the intermediary, which is the GDS. So the airline is taking full control of what is out there. And that kind of synergies with some of the points that was also mentioned on the hotel side as well. So anytime now the offer is made, it is directly going to the traveler from the airline. And the channel that will be used will be NDC. Now, what benefits does NDC bring onto the table, or what are the new products that you can see in the airline world? One, as we spoke about, it is the offer and order concept, right? And because of this offer concept, it will be much easier for airlines to create new products and pipe new products out there. Second, it's about merchandising. So it's not just about selling seats and bags that traditionally airlines have been doing, but doing it more smartly. Because now the customer is calling you directly and the airline knows where the request is coming from, they would be able to personalize those offers more intelligently, saying that I know this customer or this country or this parameter needs an extra bag, and that's why how I can sell a bit more of revenue from my side. This is where they will get smarter. Third is dynamic everything. Because it is a dynamically connected by a pull mechanism, everything is dynamic. So every price that is coming is dynamic in nature and is given and is true at that point in time, coming straight out of the airline systems. So this is changing a lot on how airlines will be differentiating their offers. Third, it will indeed improve the way airlines notify customers. And as I said, it's not just about the booking experience, but the whole end-to-end journey. So this is where it comes. Conversational UIs, the new age products like chatbots and digital assistants would be much more easier to implement through these NDC APIs rather than that legacy artifact systems. And the digital identity is another concept which is coming in, which was always a trouble connecting with legacy systems. But with these new technologies like NDC, it will be much easier to implement. Now, how are we adopting this NDC philosophy at core of what we do on our side? As you know that for many doncass years, we have been connecting to Edifact technology and the proprietary APIs. And we are not only connect to Air, but all these other providers as well. Now we are taking this additional pipe along from NDC and then putting it together. And our travel platform has gone a fundamental change to adjust and to adapt all the content coming in through this multitude of sources and to expose them through one single API. So the travel sellers, even though all the things are changing in the background, our travel sellers don't see the complexity that goes behind, but is able to enjoy those wonderful new offers that the airlines would be creating and bringing forth. So they take this benefit of the digital revolution without changing much on their side. So that was a brief speech.
Karishma has a question.
Let me see if I can get Karishma so she can speak.
So Karishma's question is there a way hotels and airlines can both work on NDC?
So if I may answer that one. So basically
Please.
what is happening is that in this new world, as we said, that offers in the earlier times were created by the GDSs, right? In newer times, what would be done is that the offer would be created by the airlines. So that also opens up opportunities for airlines to then partner up with hotels and combine an offer, then give it back to the traveler. So a traveler might look, say, I want to travel from Delhi to Singapore and requesting an offer from the airline. The airline might come back, look, I have a flight for $100, but you can also enjoy Marina Bay Sands for, say, another $80, right? As an additional upsell. So that increases merchandising possibility, and that provides another channel on top of what you have as a regular channel on the GDS. So airlines would be keen to upsell as well on their side and not just try to sell airline seats, but try to sell a lot more. Could be hotels, could be cars, could be any other merchandising element to it. They can add any other merchandising element to their offer.
Brilliant. So thank you, Nitesh. Thank you for that excellent and very eye-opening presentation. It's great to know that there is NDC happening in the airline space, and I completely agree with you. I think there's a great scope because traditionally that's what sort of third-party intermediaries have capitalized on, that whole flight plus hotel equation. So if we can fix that, I think that would be a brilliant way forward and huge possibilities there. So thank you for clarifying that it's possible. And yes, on the hotelier side, I would say definitely something like an NDC makes a lot of sense for our industry as well. A lot of hotel websites have evolved, to capture guest preferences and to sort of bundle offerings and sort of have a more pull approach rather than a push approach. So we've been working on it in bits and pieces, but surely something like NDC is very revolutionary. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Karishma. That definitely adds to my knowledge on what hotel distribution is. And it's good to know is that we do have synergies on the other side as well. With that said, I'll pass it
for you. There's a question for you.
All right. Okay, I'm popular today.
So from Aditi, hi Aditi. She asks, there are a lot of markets dominated by charter rather than commercial. How does NDC help play a role there? It's a hard one, Aditi. Good question.
That's an interesting question, and because we can look at it many ways, whether it's a commercial challenge that it's a charter against the scheduled flights, or it's a technical challenge because many of these small, if you look at Australia, many of these small islands across Australia, mining towns, are not really serviced by scheduled flights, but mostly charter aircrafts, because that's a technical problem. The airfields are not big enough to adopt those A320s and A330s. So they are serviced by Dorniers, and these are small airlines that do not have the right distribution technology to participate in the GDSs. What XML or NDC could bring in is that because it is XML technology, it is much lightweight, and it gets away from the traditional ticketing constructs, like you have to do a fare filing, you have to go to register with IATA, BSP, and all these traditional constructs that come with traditional distribution. If it's a technical challenge with those aircrafts, then or those airlines, then it can be solved with NDC. But I'm not too sure if it's a commercial challenge, how do we handle it? So
thank you so much for answering that, Nitesh. And I'm just wondering, is Himanshu back, or did anybody hear what he was saying?
There's another question here too. I haven't seen that Himanshu has come back. Okay. Is there a way hotels and airlines can both work on NDC?
Yeah, that was Karishma's question.
Yeah, already gone through that one.
Yes.
I think that's the only one. Himanshu, where are you?
Unless somebody else wants to take up that question that Nitesh had posed.
Or you could ask Ram or Joy questions as well, if you're ready to. We've only got a few minutes left. Get in fast.
I think many hotel companies aspire to do flight plus hotels on their website. Mm-hmm. And I think this will actually democratize distribution to a great extent. It is just the CRS writing another API to the NDC and making that available on their website, especially leisure destinations. Ram, what do you think?
I think I was actually about to just say the same out there. I think when NDC as and when that becomes a little bit more wide scale, I think one of the biggest challenge we face as individual hotels or brands on website is we only sell hotel rooms, right? Whereas NDC now brings in that one-stop shop solution, which is what kind of drives OTA bookings, where a traveler is able to book flights, cruises, cars, and rooms are the same thing. So it's the entire travel. And an NDC would kind of bring that onto the hotel website, which will narrow the gap down between the OTAs and direct channels. So yep, it is going to make hopefully the playing field a lot more level than what it is today. So yeah, Nitesh, you got a big bunch of people cheering you on in this project.
Thank you. And that's very encouraging to see not just our airline partners and our suppliers but we also have a good encouragement from the other side of the business, which are hotels. So yes, looking forward to this journey.
Fantastic. I don't think Himanshu has been able to log back, but if anybody in the audience has any questions for any of the speakers, for Ram, for Joy, for Nitesh, please go ahead. Karishma, you can ask another question also.
I was just going to say, so if I may, so this question is for either Joy or Ram, since both of you spoke about AI. I think just like to understand that, how do you see AI being like a disruptor in this whole piece? Any one of you can answer that.
I like
Ram,
that.
you want to go first?
Well, I think as far as AI goes in the distribution space, I think I don't know. I mean, you guys are I think Nitesh should be the one who's going to do it. I mean, I can't. There's a lot we all want things to happen, but what is today's reality? I think Nitesh is most geared up to answer as to where are we sitting, in terms of us reaching out there.
I'll tell you something, Karishma, before I hand it over to Nitesh. As a listed company, I can't make too much of forward-looking statements. That's a no-no for me. But we are building some big-time CRSs. You must have seen our announcements in the press.
Yes.
And I don't want this to sound like science fiction, but what AI can do is that actually prompt the right rate after comparing what's available, the demand in the market, and what is the right channel for that rate to go in, which probably may not be a public pricing. So AI can do that automatically. And we are moving in that direction.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that sounds brilliant. But then what's going to happen to rate parity?
No, but it is not a public
Whoever
rate.
knows what's going to happen.
What's the stage
Oh, all right.
I mean,
Okay,
what's
I got
happening to
it.
rate parity today?
No, if it is
Okay,
not a
I got
public
it.
rate, nothing happens to rate parity.
Okay, brilliant. I think that will be brilliant. That is truly disruptive. Very, very, very much looking forward to a development like that.
Taran had a question, actually. So the question from Tarandeep is addressed to me. How do I see the distribution space changing on the wholesale side for hotels, with hotels connecting with Expedia partner services like Marriott and IHG for all their wholesale connections? And Taran, I mean, I need to first ask you, what changes did you see with IHG partnering with Expedia partner services for wholesale distribution? But of course, we will discuss that when we meet up in person in a couple of weeks. But I think getting the wholesale connectivity streamlined has been a biggest challenge for a lot of hotel companies per se. We saw that as well as to how the wholesale rate leakages are happening. And, partnering with somebody like an Expedia has definitely helped, I'm assuming, Marriott and IHG. But also what it has done on the other side is it's literally made Expedia become like number one in, or the largest wholesaler out there. Currently, they are only using Expedia as an exclusive distributor of wholesale rates. And I think this is going to be something that is happening. A lot of CRSs are already bringing in the play of having wholesale rate management via the CRS to streamline the distribution of these. I know Synexus is already working on that. They already have that in place. I'm sure TravelClick has its wholesale module sitting as well. So I think, yeah, I mean, people want to manage wholesale to get a lot more control over their rates. This would also help us to move away from static pricing, which is the killer of rate parity, which is what is leading to all the rate parity issues that we are facing today, Karishma, to moving towards a lot more sanity in terms of pricing out there, for lack of a better word. Joy, anything out there with regards to wholesale pricing via the managing as a via the CRS?
No, nothing that I can talk about at the moment. Just that the TravelClick brand has disappeared.
Yep, Amadeus, sorry.
So guys, if
M&A
nobody-
era.
Sorry, you didn't get that.
Anybody else got a question there? Oh, there's one on there. There's a one in the Q&A, I think. Trying to get
So
my,
that's the one that I think Tarandeep had said. Is it the same one?
oh, that's from
Yeah, that's
Taryn.
the one. Yep.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Taryn.
that's the one. Okay, I think we did good on time as well. So if no more questions, then we will thank everybody for attending this webinar. And thank you to the speakers for great insights and great information. And everyone, please watch the space. We'll be coming up with more webinars. As Jackie mentioned, workshop coming up in the second half of the year. I've put in the email ID in case you need any more information from us, and the link as well if you wish to download the recording, which will be ready in about an hour's time. So thank you, everyone. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in our next webinar. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
all. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fabulous webinar today. Thank you.
Thank you.